Before you can go around and diagnose people as well, like, oh yeah, stop doing that, like, I'm sure you have bipolar. Yeah, like, oh, you're angry today, I'm sure it's your bipolar acting up. Yeah, I'm starting to rant because it makes me angry. Hey housemates,
we're in the house. Welcome back to another video, guys. So today we're going to be doing a mukbang and talking about something that's pretty close to us. A lot of the housemates do not know, but my wife has a mental illness and it's called bipolar. Today she's going to talk about it a bit more, and we're just going to talk about our experience with it. And yeah, before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and you can follow us on the social media links below. Let's get into it.
Yeah guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I'll try to answer everyone's questions as honestly as I can. I'm not an expert, I'm just like one of the sick people. I'm not an expert, so don't go and diagnose yourself according to my information. At the end of the video, I'm going to drop some hard facts, and we'll also put in some links for anyone who needs help or wants to know more. We're
having Rocco Mama's burgers, pockets from Ngwenyas, McFlurries, Toppers mint chocolate, chicken wings from Chicken Licken, and fries from McDonald's. And we were so dumb, forgot to buy drinks, but I'm not really a drinks person, so having some water.
We always have water. Like, we're not gonna buy fizzy drinks now.
Okay.
Can I have a bite of my burger? Because I'm really hungry. Just hold on.
I haven't eaten all day for this.
Oh. The earliest I can remember my brush with mental illness was high school, though I didn't know what was wrong with me. Like, literally, I suffered from depression for such a long time, so I was tired the whole time, and every time I went to a doctor, they just take my blood and like, they wouldn't find anything. And so I would suffer like a lot from like low energy, and the only thing I could do was just take energy supplements for it, and it was not even helping. So I suffered for low energy for a long time, and then this one time I had like this huge ass panic attack in front of everyone, and I suffered from mutism, which is something that comes with mental illness. Like, guys, mutism is like when you can't talk. Oh. So I couldn't talk for like, I'm sure a full day, but I haven't ever suffered from mutism for a long time. Like, it was just a full day. I couldn't, like, I was literally like understanding everything everyone was saying. I could nod and do whatever, but I couldn't talk. And then the next day I was okay. I was back to being like low energy, like always sad. Like, that was just me. I was sleeping all the time. So that was around grade 11. I think grade 12 I had some incidences, but I didn't really pursue mental illness. I would just go to the doctor thinking like, oh, maybe like I'm sick, but they could never pinpoint anything. And this other doctor went and did blood tests, and then she misdiagnosed me with hyperthyroidism. Actually hypo, not hyperthyroidism. Now I went to a specialist. I went to the specialist, like, and the specialist is like, no, these numbers are not significant enough for you to have hyperthyroidism. Have you guys considered that you might be depressed and stuff? Like, there's nothing we can do to help. I would suffer from, like, sometimes I'd have panic attacks so bad and I would cry the whole time. I remember like writing my final exams was hell, because sometimes I would just like postpone everything every time, and then when it came to like actually like I'm writing tomorrow, I'd start panicking and yeah, it was a whole lot.
I know
So
this is a serious conversation, but this burger is
yeah, guys.
yes.
So that was like
Don't forget to eat.
yeah, I won't forget. Okay, so that was the first time, that was my first brush with mental illness, and like starting to actually actively be sick was me around grade 11, grade 12, and what triggered is, I think, was my relationship in high school that triggered the actual like episodes and stuff. Then I went to first year and I was fine for a while, and then around March I started not sleeping. Like before I went to hospital, I think I hadn't slept for like 5 days straight. I remember what's the series, Suits? No, White Collar. I would be repeating those, like I would watch throughout the night. Like I'd see the sun go down and the sun come up. Like I was awake the whole time, and there was a point where now I didn't give a shit. Like I was just living my life. I remember I was even wearing all black every day, like I was mourning something. And
was this to
I was
school? During like where you were back like at hostel?
No, not hostel. When I was in first year, to campus, I was wearing all black all the time, super annoyed all the time. And at some point I made a lot of friends that I didn't remember after I came out of hospital. Then I kept on going to my general like practitioner, telling him, okay, this is what's wrong, whatever. And then the GP was like, you know what, there's a psychiatrist, his name is so and so, we're gonna book you for 2 weeks into hospital and you can get the help that you need. So I did. I went for 2 weeks. I slept at the psychiatric ward. And you know, when someone says you're gonna sleep at a psychiatric ward, it's a very scary subject. It's like there's a stigma around it.
Those things where like
they tie you. There's that whole stigma around it, and like you're scared. I was scared, and I didn't know, but I wanted to find out what was wrong because I wanted to be normal. I wanted to not be awake the whole night. I didn't want to be crying like the whole night over shit I didn't even understand.
When you went to the hospital the first time, when you went to the doctor and you were admitted, was your family there, or they just put you there on your own? And
no, remember I was not like a hot case yet, because the doctor gave me a date when I could go. Yeah, and then my mom came and my sister came so that they could take me there. I slept for 2 weeks, and then the doctor diagnosed me with I'm going to read it because I always forget, I get confused. Okay, I'm bipolar type 2.
You have bipolar type 2?
Yeah, sorry, I did that mistake. I'm not bipolar. I have bipolar type 2 disorder. So bipolar type 2 disorder is hypomania. Hypo means like suppressed. So that means I can go through periods of like very down moods, and it doesn't necessarily mean that like I'm sad. Okay, yeah, I am sad, I'm depressed and stuff, but also my body wants to shut down all the time. So that's why you find me sometimes like I'll sleep. All I do is just sleep and eat. I don't have energy to interact. I don't look forward to anything, and like anything is just bad, and then it gets worse and worse, and then I get sucked into the depression where like I literally can't take myself out.
Yeah, please eat, because then that's an English children.
Okay, cool. So basically I found out in first year what my illness was. Slept in hospital for 2 weeks, and then after that I was fine. I drink pills for my condition indefinitely, so I'm not gonna stop drinking the pills. Like it's something that's chronic medication, so I'm on chronic medication for my illness for the rest of my life. So when we started dating, he didn't know this, right?
I did. How was I meant to know? Remember how we met and how we hooked up? That's how it was. So how was I going to know all of this?
I think what happened is like I was over at his place and he's like, okay, let's sleep. And I told him like literally I can't sleep, and he's like, why can't you sleep? I'm like, I need my pills to sleep. And he did the most annoying thing that like everyone, because I started explaining And he's like, yeah, you need to find other solutions than pills. And that
what did you expect me to do?
Yeah, that was like very irritating for me. But like, tell me from your point of view, what made you think that? Like, before you learned about mental illness and like a condition like bipolar, what did you think? Why did you think it could be something that would be healed once off? Or
Okay, firstly,
my time to eat.
Firstly, I'm a human being. And number two, I didn't grow up. I grew up with the normal stigma that like they're crazy people, and I didn't know that like there's different types of mental illness. To me, a crazy person is a crazy person. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
You asked me, and like, and for me, a person going to a mental hospital was a person who like has lost grips with reality. I'm sorry for calling people crazy, but like I'm just being honest. That's like who I was. And for me, I'm a person that's going to a mental hospital. If you're from Swaziland, you'll know that these guys at the bus rank who are going around swearing all day and
everywhere.
Yeah, but they're everywhere. So for me, that's what a person with a mental illness was. So when she told me that she needed to take pills to sleep, she didn't, at that time, I don't remember correctly, but it wasn't like based on the fact that she has a mental illness. We're just talking about her not being able to sleep because it was the first time it was coming up. So in my mind, I was just like, but yeah, if it's a sickness, I mean, if you have faith, you can get cured from the sickness. You know, that's literally what I said. Excuse me. And I even said, yeah, but like we can find other ways. But that's just because at that time I don't want to say ignorant, but I didn't know about it. So it wasn't something I would like automatically like realize or think of like seriously, because I was just a person who was like a normal human at that time that didn't know about these things.
Not that he's a superhuman now.
Yeah, not that I'm a superhuman now.
Before you met me, did you ever consider the possibility of dating someone with a mental illness?
Girls are crazy.
Wow.
Girls are crazy, so I didn't know I was going to date someone with a mental illness. I didn't think it was a possibility, but I knew girls are crazy. So, yeah.
It's so annoying that people say that.
I'm joking, but I didn't think there was a possibility.
What would you say, like, to the housemates is the most what are the most difficult parts of being with someone with like mental illness? And from like my episodes, what's the worst which one is the worst one you've experienced?
Okay. Those are two separate questions. So I'll treat them as two separate questions. Hardest thing is that you have to try and be strong majority of the time. And it's also something that this condition is something you learn about as you go along. It's not like a chronic disease where here are the symptoms, this is what's going to treat the symptoms. It's your brain, so, and it's hormones, so it's something that changes all the time. And there's different reactions to different things. So it's not something that you can just like kind of get to the grips of. Also, to be honest, a lot of the time, even when you're going through something, as like for example, when I'm going through something, a lot of the time, it's not easy to talk about the things that I'm going through, or it's not easy to kind of deal with a lot of the things easily, because most of the time you're also considering the other person, because you don't want to talk about something and you don't want to talk about something that's serious to you and it doesn't come off as serious to your partner, because your partner is not at that point and your partner is going through something at that time, and it kind of, you can see it clouding her judgment.
Sometimes you feel like you can't communicate things to me because I might just react very badly to it, or I might like take it personally and then start stressing about it, and then it affects me. Oh, I don't feel like it's big enough because I'm going through hell with my emotions, so he feels like he can't talk. But I was saying, like, in terms of like my reaction levels, you won't know how I'm gonna react to something. Like sometimes I'll be excited and then sometimes I'm just like, oh, but I don't want to do that. and like you don't even understand why I don't want to do it.
The worst episode is the one that happened this past Saturday. The weekend before we uploaded the video, I was trying to miss clothes on, and I set you on. And what? And then?
It doesn't have caramel.
Sorry. And then I like let the housemates know that she's in hospital, so I was on the thing alone. She had an episode. For me, that was the hardest one because it was something very personal. I've only experienced 2 episodes with Dumi. It was one in 2016 and one this year, the one that I'm talking about. I said, well, the first one, James hadn't delivered her medication, so she hadn't taken her medication for I think it was.
But it was not only about the medication. It was also
James hadn't delivered her medication for like, was it 2 weeks?
It was 3 days.
Oh wow! See, 3 days without pills, drive like, yeah. So it was she hadn't had pills, and also we're going through one of the worst periods of our lives. We're living in the commune, and like things were just not going okay at that commune. But like, long story short, is she was going through the most, and she didn't have her pills. And she was in final year. She wanted to hit someone with an iron. That's like how bad it was. But still, for me, it wasn't the worst. The worst was the one that happened this past weekend, the other weekend, because it was a very personal one. And it had to do with the 2 of us. It wasn't something that was external anymore. Excuse me. And like a lot of things were said, and it took me a while to kind of get over it. But like I said before, this food is making me burp. I don't hold on to these things because I understand most of the time that it's not like really her that's like doing this. She's not really got grips of what's happening. So that was the toughest one for me.
And also for me, the hardest part I would say is that I don't remember. And like when I have the hypermania episodes, I don't remember. Like with the depression, because it's something that goes on for a long time, I'm aware of. But with the hypermania episodes, I usually don't remember everything that took place, and it's just a blur for me. And like, it's very hurtful for me to hear, like, if I've hurt someone or that says something hurtful, and it could just literally happen like this. It would be like we're having a normal conversation right now, we're sitting, and then like I hear kids laughing outside and I just get angry about it, and like the anger just erupts. What do you wish people knew about the illness?
Okay, I just wish people wouldn't make assumptions, and they would, and before they talk about it, they would actually try to understand what it is first. Because a lot of people treat bipolar or mental illness as a whole like it's not a disease or a sickness. For me, mental illness is just like HIV. It's something that people have, and like it's something as serious to be taken as serious. It's not like somebody is crazy or somebody drank and they like lost control and they're out of their mind. No, it's something that's real. And I wish people would understand that and not just make assumptions when they're talking about mental illness. Remember, I was one of those people before, which is why I feel very strongly about it.
There's a lot of things I feel prevent people from going to get help, and I want to talk about this because, like, if you as a housemate, if you as a person become aware of these things, you stop doing them. One, saying to someone with a mental health issue, you need to pray about it, or what did you say, Viv? What did you say, Ghana?
If you have faith, the sickness can be healed.
Yeah, if you have faith, the sickness can be healed means that you are preventing this person from getting professional help, and you are making them seem like like the reason why they're sick is because they don't have faith in God, and those things are like really helpful. You can't be saying to someone like, yeah, oh, you have sugar diabetes, if you have faith you won't have sugar diabetes. It's a chronic illness that can be healed with just like prayer. Yes, people have to pray and everything, but saying that to a person is like saying it's not right. I don't know how to explain it, but don't do it. The other thing is using mental illness vaguely, like how
I'm so depressed.
Oh, I'm so depressed. Oh, like guys, my mood, I'm so bipolar. Yo, that yes. Oh, why, like, you are always happy and angry, what, why are you being so bipolar? Guys, it's like, don't go and simplify bipolar as happy and sad. It's not that. And I hate it when people do that. So what I'm gonna do now, right, because I know I'm gonna start rambling, I'm gonna read some things I wrote down, like what I wish people knew about bipolar, and then we're gonna read some facts that I got from my psychiatrist about bipolar. And then guys, also consider the fact that it's not the same. Like he said, every episode is different, and there's no way that you can just put it into one box. You can't box bipolar, you can't box like mental illness. You have to actually learn about the different types of mental illnesses, because before you can go around and diagnose people as well, like, oh yeah, stop doing that, like I'm sure you have bipolar. Yeah, like, oh, you're angry today, I'm sure it's your bipolar acting up. Yeah, I'm starting to rant because it makes me angry. Okay, cool. Let's read and be merry.
That's why I'm fat.
Ha! Oh, this is mine. I'm gonna put it away.
Bipolar disorder is not just mood swings. It can be genetic or triggered by an event. If you have bipolar disorder, you're likely to suffer with other illnesses such as anxiety, stress, and depression. Note, those are sicknesses as well. Anxiety is a sickness, stress is a sickness, and depression is a sickness, not a feeling. Bipolar disorder is not curable. Just like AIDS, right?
Yep.
Just like AIDS, bipolar
or sugar diabetes
is not curable. We have personalities outside the illness, and we don't always experience episodes. Bipolar can be mistaken with schizophrenia or depression. You can't simply snap out of a mood or an episode. I am capable of making logical and rational decisions as a person suffering with bipolar.
I am a growth analyst. I hold a senior position. I've been working for 2 years. I finished my degree in record time. I drive a car that's financed. I pay my bills every month. I pay rent and stuff. So those are the examples of that. I am capable of making rational decisions. But take note that I am taking medication as well. So I take my medication like very diligently so that I can be able to be a functioning part of society.
Mania is not happiness. Symptoms of mania can include overabundant energy and activity and rapid pressurized speed, a rush of ideas. Speech. A rush of ideas, impulsive and inappropriate behavior, just to name a few, even severe insomnia. You will obviously be able to read more about these in the pamphlet that we've attached in the description. We can live normal, happy lives without being judged.
I feel like people still have such a long way to learn. Like, it's like mental illness has been there for such a long time, but people still have so much to learn about it. And that means for the people that actually have the mental illness, we are not able to speak openly about it without people offending us, without people thinking that they can just say random things. Like, have you ever went and just been like, ooh, I have AIDS, just because you coughed? No, you don't. Mara, every time those are the things that work me up. And I think the reason why I was so insistent that we do this video is to show you that people can have this, and we live with this. Wives, I'm a wife, I work, I do, but I have bipolar illness, and this thing is not as simple as people make it out to be. So guys, we will put in
we'll put in the pamphlet in the description box, a link where you can download it.
Yeah, but it will be specifically only for bipolar, but you can get more in another link.
Just like we said at the beginning of the video, we're just sharing our experience with bipolar disorder. It's not to give out or not professionals or mental health experts.
Yeah.
It's just, sharing our experience. And we hope that by us sharing this, it's going to help more people actually have a voice and be able to speak about it and feel free about it, because the one thing, like Tumi was saying, is just there's still a stigma around mental health. Just like there was a stigma around HIV and AIDS long ago, then even though there still is, but it's a relaxed thing now. Just like mental illness, we hope that one day it's something that people actually talk about, and it's something that's normal, and it's not taken as either uloyiwe or
and people learn,
or it's something that's wrong with you and that you're not a normal human being. It can happen to you. You can get it genetically. It can,
be triggered by an event.
It can be triggered by something.
So don't even blame yourself. It's normal. It's an illness.
It's an illness.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get from this video. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to I hope you enjoyed it today.
I hope it was very educational.
I just hope you learned something.
Yeah, and if you have questions, guys, please, we'll do a poll maybe after a week of posting this, so that I can answer all the questions, because I think maybe we were all over the place at some point, so that we answer specific questions. I will do a poll about it in a week or two.
And also, guys, for the poll, you can follow at the Ngwenyas House on Instagram, or follow us on the social media links below. I'll also put the poll on my Instagram account. We also have Facebook. You'll see it's right here in the corner, somewhere over here in the corner. That's our Facebook and our Twitter and everything, so Ngwenyas House. So thank you so much for tuning in this week, guys. Please don't forget to like this video if it was informative to you, and share it with your friends so they can also get information, and subscribe to our channel. Bye guys, we'll see you next week with another video.
Bye guys.